Hey everyone, you're watching In Studio with The Hollywood Reporter. I'm Brian Parika, and today's guest is Justin Prentice.
Woo!
How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
How's it been? So season 2 is out.
It is. It's out there.
How has it been having it out and kind of?
It's great. You know, lots of long kept secrets. So it's nice that they're out there and we don't have to be sworn to secrecy anymore. A lot off the chest. But yeah, I hope people are enjoying it.
So I watched all of season 2 in 2 days. This past weekend,
a lot.
Watched it alone, which is
even
the
better.
show's sad, and like watching alone is just like
it's another level.
Cried a bit.
Yeah,
before we jump into season 2, this role, I guess, like it was really like a breakout role for you. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely so. Definitely.
What was with last season? What was kind of like this like overnight success, like instant fame, I guess, because you guys all became pretty big like after season 1.
It was strange.
How did you handle all that?
I think we all just kind of took it in stride. I think I don't go out a whole lot, so I didn't realize how big the show had gotten. And I remember we were over at Ross's. He plays Zach Dempsey. We were having a game night, and the cast was like, "Isn't it crazy? Like how much our lives have changed?" And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about. Like everything's the same for me." And they're like, "Are people not coming up to you?" And I'm like, "No, I don't go out a lot, so that would be hard for them to do that." But then I started going out. I'm like, "Oh wow, yeah, no, people really are responding to the show." So I don't think any of us had any indication it was going to blow up the way it did. But yeah, it's a special thing, and I think we're all excited about it.
Now, like reuniting with the cast, did you hang out with them a lot? Did you hang out with them a lot between filming? And what was reuniting with them like? I guess for season 2.
It's fun. It's great. It's cool to bring the characters back to life. I think we all have such great rapport on and off camera. It makes it really easy to jump into the characters and kind of riff off of each other in the scenes. Yeah, it's kind of easy with those guys.
Now, with kind of how dark I guess the scenes are and how tough these scenes are, what's that dynamic like on set? Like kind of keeping
it depends. It depends on the day. For the dark scenes, you know, specifically like season 1 with the rape scenes and everything, we all kind of go our separate ways and kind of get into our own headspace. That way we can focus on the job at hand. But on the lighter days that we have, we always try and make each other laugh and joke and pull pranks and have a good time for, you know, some sort of mental health, keeping things light and everything. But yeah.
No, I interviewed Alicia for like last year for season 1, and she said that everyone said it's really like comfortable. They make sure you're comfortable, especially for those tough scenes. Yeah, it's a really like comfortable environment.
It really is. They did a great job. They walk you through everything ahead of time. This is the camera movement. We're gonna show this, and this. We won't show this, and this. We kind of do a rough sort of blocking rehearsal with it. Mini meetings and powwows ahead of time, and then on the day we just kind of commit to it. On the scene with Catherine and the hot tub, they had like emotional support dogs on set. And I talked to Catherine afterwards. I was like, "Do you ever go near the dogs?" And she's like, "No, I would have just broken down." And I was like, "Yeah, me too." But it was great for the crew. The crew used them. So yeah, they take every measure to make sure that we're as comfortable as possible, which is awesome.
Now, before you got the scripts for season 2, after kind of season 1 came out, where did you think Bryce's story was going to go, and where did you want to see it?
You know, having the Brock Turner case come out when it did, that was part of my research for season 1, so I always kind of assumed this was going to be the trajectory of Bryce. I knew it was going to get litigious. They had mentioned that to us, and assuming that, you know, the show does a great job of kind of putting a mirror up to society. I think they are dramatized events and whatnot, and our characters don't always make the right decisions, but we do try and tackle some issues as they come up in real life as accurately as possible. And so, knowing that, I was like, yeah, I think it's going to piss a lot of people off, but I think Bryce is going to get off kind of easy because that's realistic.
My biggest compliment to the show is like, there are so many teen shows out there that are fun and like whatever, but this show is like, it's a serious show, and that's what teens are going through.
It's deep, yeah, and I think they are. Yeah, this is. I think. I mean,
it's a little bit more dramatized, I think.
Sure, but I think one of the reasons it's blown up the way it has is because teens are excited to kind of see their issues and problems that they're dealing with showcased, you know, on this sort of platform, you know.
Now, for Bryce specifically, I mean, for you as an actor, what is it like to play like a completely unsympathetic character? Like, I don't think there are any redeeming qualities about him at all.
We haven't seen many of them, if there are.
Do you hate him as much as everyone else?
Oh, for certain, yes. And that's the interesting thing, because, you know, reading the character on the page, it's like, gosh, I hate this guy, but then you have to play the guy, and you can't hate yourself, because you have to find a way to sort of justify the actions in order to play the character. Not that that justifies what he does. But in playing the role, you have to find a way to make it all make sense, which is kind of an interesting barrier to break through. But as an actor, very rewarding, I suppose.
Yeah. Now for season 2, there have been like trigger warnings, and there's been ways where you guys offer support and like links for people to kind of seek help. For season 1, there were a lot of criticisms because there was kind of a lack of that, and there was also this criticism that the show didn't really offer an alternative to suicide. Going into season 2, what were the conversations kind of about those criticisms, and did you guys talk about that, or?
You know, I think we were all very careful this season. We wanted to do it right while still telling, you know, compelling storyline. I think the way they chose to show the suicide in the first season, I think it was brutal, and I get that that's triggering for people, and I think they've even since added more warnings to season 1, 2, and gone back. But it's also realistic, and that's what's happening out there, and sometimes it should be hard to watch because it's hard to deal with in the moment, and we didn't want to make it seem easy. For that scene in particular, the writers felt that if they didn't show it, that made it easy. That was the easy step, because then it seems like, oh, she's here and alive, and then now she's not. It's as easy as that. And they wanted to show that it's a tough decision, and it's brutal every step of the way.
I talked to Brian York, and he said, this isn't a beautiful thing.
Right.
This is...
Exactly. So I think everyone was conscious of that season 2 as well. There is triggering stuff that happens in season 2, of course, but again, a lot of this stuff is going on, like in episode 13. We take a lot of heat for that scene, but we actually, as the cast, also asked the writers, like, what is going on here? This seems kind of like, I won't spoil anything for those who haven't seen it, but...
No, everyone's going to be caught up.
Probably so, but this...
Spoil it for
you know what scene I'm talking about. We as the actors read it, and we're all like, this seems kind of like out of left field. Is this necessary? And Yorkie, our showrunner, was like, apparently this is happening prevalently in schools. This is a big issue, and that blew all of our minds. We're like, well then, our show doesn't shy away, and it hasn't before, so why shy away now, And it is. It's brutal to watch, and it's grotesque, and it's intense, and be mad. You can be mad at the show, but be mad at the issue. Start talking about it,
Have you watched season 2? Like, do you watch the episodes?
I don't watch any of it. I've seen the first 2 episodes of season 1 because that was at the premiere, and then I haven't seen any of it aside from that. Aside from like when we're on set and I want to like rewatch something to make sure I didn't screw up too badly. But no, I haven't seen really any of the final footage. We did ADR work, so I've seen fragments, but no, I try to stay away just because of actor insecurities.
One of my favorite scenes, I mean, not like... because it was like entertaining or anything, but it was like powerful, and it really showed how sick Bryce is, was when he's talking to his mother, and he's saying like whatever he said, like, yeah, I raped her, and this and that and this and that, and like what scenes for you stood out, and like where you could really like go there with the character.
That was one of them.
That side.
That was one of them for sure. That's kind of one of the first times we've seen Bryce sort of drop his facade that he puts on for the world and just kind of be a monster in that moment to his mother, which is very interesting as an actor to play. And Brenda Strong is phenomenal. I love her so much. That was a great one. There are a bunch of really good scenes. Even ones like the dance scene I love, when the song comes on, harkens back to season 1, and then everyone sort of surrounds Clay to support him. I don't know, there are a lot of little beautiful moments. The sports stuff was a lot of fun. A lot of athletics going on this season, which was enjoyable.
Are you like, do you grow up playing sports? Or?
I'm from Tennessee, so I grew up playing sports. I grew up with my parents thinking that would be the trajectory I would take, and then I was like, I want to do musical theater, and my mom was like, who are you, why? And they were super supportive, but it's cool to finally... gear up, throw on some pads and whatnot, and be like, look, Mom, I did it.
Now, the show, I mean, it is hard to watch. There are episodes that are hard to watch. I do like the show. But one of my biggest issues with season 2 was kind of this, like, lack of hope with the verdict, like, with what happens at the school. And then with your character, and I know that's, like, a real situation where that does happen. What's your take on that? Yeah,
I mean, I think... At the end of the day, 1, we want to make compelling storyline, but 2, we want to kind of turn a mirror to society and say this is the issue that's going on, or these are the issues that are going on, and that's certainly one of them. Bryce is, he's a straight white male. He comes from money and power. He's very privileged, and that usually in this society means that you're kind of going to get off without too much consequences. Right, and it is messed up, and And, you know, I think for our show it does a good job in basing at least that facet in reality. But I think there are small justices throughout, you know, like
what would you say?
Jessica kind of finally coming to terms and being able to look Bryce in the eye and say, you did this. I think that's a huge step, and that's amazing.
Her speech in the court.
Yeah, and then you seeing like all of the women on the stand. I mean, it's so powerful. So I think they handled it pretty well. Yeah.
Now, you guys were filming kind of during this Time's Up era in the Me Too movement. Did that have an impact on these storylines, or it was kind of already?
I think they kind of sort of had it mapped out already. It might have tweaked, you know, a little towards the end. But yeah, we were showing up to work every day, just like, gosh, guys, this is so relevant. Yeah. It's so rewarding to be kind of part of a show that touches on all these important issues.
Thank you so much for coming in. What do you want to say to, I guess, fans of yours and people who don't like your character?
Thank you for supporting this show. You're right for not liking Bryce. Let's work together, have these conversations, whether you are a fan of the show, whether you have critiques of how the show did certain things, talk about it, you know? Let's get these issues out there, and let's work towards a brighter future, as cliche as that is, I guess.
Before we start, you said you're producing something with your girlfriend. Can you kind of talk about that?
Yeah. Acting's always kind of been my main passion, but I just love storytelling in general, and so I want to hop behind camera some as well. So I'm producing a feature. She's a director, so we're kind of in the pre-production phase of that right now.
Do you write too? Or?
A little bit, yeah. She's the main writer on this one, but I go in and do it. German's her first language, so I do a lot of rewrites, just, you know, grammatical stuff.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks for watching.
Thanks, guys.